In Genesis chapter 1, God uses his voice, but in Genesis chapter 2, he uses his hands. Why? Many of us assume that God spoke humans into existence just like he did everything else throughout Genesis chapter 1. But when you look very closely at Genesis chapter 2, you see that in verse 7, he formed us with his hands, and then he breathed the breath of life into us. And this is in complete contrast to what many of us have been taught in school, that we are simply byproducts of evolution, that we are descended from apes. And I think they go as far as to say that we are descendants from, slime or molecules on a rock that, eventually became a frog. And of course, I'm oversimplifying it, but Genesis chapter 2 actually shows us that we as human beings have intrinsic self-worth, in that not only did God form us with his hands, but he said in chapter 1 at the very end that we are created in his image. And this is truly remarkable, because when you look at the Hebrew, image there is basically what was used in ancient times to describe when a king would go into a foreign territory and leave an image of himself, a statue of himself, to remind people who owns this territory. And so when God chose to form us with his hands, he was basically making a statement that this is God's earth and we are to be his representatives. But the point I want to leave you with today is that you are not just a number. Evolution will make you feel like just a number. Evolution will make you feel as though there is no intrinsic purpose or meaning or destiny to your life. But I want to let you know that God has a purpose. Just as he spoke to Jeremiah in Jeremiah chapter 1, before I knew you, I formed you, or before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. In Psalms, the psalmist says that he knits us together in our mother's womb. In Ephesians chapter 2, it says that we are God's workmanship. And so I just want to leave you today with this truth, that you are special and God has a special purpose and a specific design for your life. But however, I do want to ask you this. Have you ever felt just like a number?